guys, welcome back to my channel and hello, hi. And we've not done this in a very long time. We've not done weekly reads in such a long time simply because of a lot of Booker stuff going on. I was pretty occupied with the Booker, and now that the Booker is done, I'm finally getting back on track with my weekly reads and with my other videos. Also, I may be planning like a small break from YouTube in the near future simply because things tend to get a little bit overwhelming when you have a lot of things to take care in life, but I will maybe announce it on a community post whenever I feel like taking the break. So that being said, hello, hi, my name is Jyotsna, and if you're new here, I make a lot of bookish videos on this channel, so you can check all the other videos out, and if you like them, please do the usual. And yeah, that's it, okay? But today we are on weekly reads where I talk about the books that I read in the past week and the ones that I'm reading currently. So one of the things that would be coming up this upcoming weekend or something would be my my monthly wrap up. So I have not done a monthly wrap up for September yet, so I have plans to do it. But the thing is that during the Diwali weekend, like last week, the Diwali holiday long weekend, basically I did finish quite a few books, and that's what I'm going to discuss about in this video. So I'm going to be discussing about books that I finished in November. Okay, so the first book that I finished in November was Nothing to Envy by Barbara Demick. And if you've been following me, you guys know I really love Barbara Demick. Okay, I'm not kidding you. Barbara Demick is bae. And the other book that I've read of hers is my introduction to her was by the BookTube Prize, and the book is called Eat the Buddha, which talks about the Chinese occupation of Tibet. And Nothing to Envy is a book about North Korea and a history of North Korea, political history, and also the propaganda that they have there, and also the stories of the defectors. Okay, so I actually love the storytelling part of this particular book, and it's amazing, it's nice. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Then the next book that I finished was this one. This is Wanderers, Kings, Merchants by Peggy Mohan, The Story of India Through Its Languages, which is an Indian non-fiction book which talks about the formation of Indo-Aryan languages, Sanskrit, Hindi, Urdu, and all the languages that you know. Now, just to be very specific, this is an academic book, and you would need like a good interest in linguistics to get through this book because there are a lot of anecdotes that are provided. But one thing I really liked is that it's also a mixture of social awakening with linguistics, okay? Because this book aims to kind of shatter a lot of facts, a lot of things that you know about languages. For example, one of the myths that the book busts, like it just like tears into it, is how Sanskrit is known as the mother of all languages, which is kind of not true, because it's kind of like a narrative that people like telling themselves, but then Sanskrit and its origins are pretty much like different, and the way we speak Hindi and Urdu today are also kind of different, if that makes sense. But yeah, the point is that Hindi and Urdu originated from the same I would say source, okay? But in order to know the source, you need to read the book, and that's why Hindi and Urdu are very like similar. Like this is just like one of those anecdotes that I really found interesting in this book. Also, the book kind of explains more about English, because there's a lot of there are a lot of factors of English that are getting into our mother tongues these days. Like even if you speak Marathi, even if you speak Malayalam for that matter, like there's a factor called Manglish, where you have English like trying to grab a lot of attention within like a particular language, although it's like not even remotely related. And this factor is kind of like discussed as well, because we need to preserve our mother tongues, and we need to ensure that we keep speaking the language and know our roots. And I like that message as well. The point is that if you're interested in language linguistics, this is the book you have to read. And if you're like looking for some kind of radical myth busting process, then this is the book, because I really like the way Peggy Mohan writes. I think for me the only challenging thing in the entire book was how academically inclined it was, because I was trying to wrap my head around a lot of concepts in linguistics, and not like just the basic ones, also those of grammar in general and how grammar is generally formed. Okay, so yeah, this book is that. And then the next book that I finished reading, and I read this in one sitting, incredible, highly recommended, is this one. This is Lost by Siddharth Shangvi, and it's actually a non-fiction book, which is borderline stream of consciousness. So for me, like when I read this, the last stream of consciousness book that I read was Anuk Aditpragasam's A Passage North. So if you really loved A Passage North, then you really love this book. Absolutely love it a lot. And I really like how minimalist and glossy the pages are. It's a very pretty book. And you know, at the back of the book, it just says something very simple. Grief is not a record of what has been lost, but of who has been loved. And the book talks about the deaths that he's faced, the death of his mother, the death of his father, and also the death of his dog, and how it happened, and how he's learning to live with it, and how grief kind of, you know, swallowed him during these times. It's a beautiful book, highly recommended, non-fiction, nonetheless. It's just chef's kiss. Okay, but I'll be like talking about this book a lot. I think I'll even make a review video on this. So yeah, let's see about that. Now that we've spent 6 minutes talking about my last week's read. Now that we've spent 6 minutes talking about my last week's reads, let's talk about my reads, like current reads for sure. So the first book that I'm like 51% through is actually again a non-fiction book, and that's this one. This is The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch, and I've heard a lot about this book, and this book was a gift. But then on Instagram I had mentioned that I'm getting into a slump and I need something to read, and someone had recommended me this. So I said, okay, cool, for sure. I had the book. Also, I need to read this book considering I was gifted this like almost like 2 to 3 years back. So yeah, I need to honor the person who gifted me this. So yeah. And the next book that I'm like 49% through is something that I've been dragging along since last month, and that's Dune by Frank Herbert. So I'm listening to the audiobook now and reading the ebook like at once, and that's helping me a lot because I'm able to like grasp a lot of stuff. And let me tell you, the book is crazy. Okay, it has a lot of twists and turns. It's not your typical fantasy book. Like when I say typical fantasy, I don't read typical fantasy, to be honest, but this is not your cliche fantasy. Okay, like I don't know, like it reminded me of like a very 70s view, or in the 70s 80s view of Star Wars in general. So I like it, you know, reminding me of Star Wars, but that's okay, and I like it, so that's all that matters. And the next book that I'm reading currently, yes, I'm reading 4 books now, and this is this one. This is People on Our Roof by Shefali Tripathi Mehta, and by the way, my bookmark is super cool. I think you can see it. This is actually from the time when I went to Ooty, I think. Yeah, it was Ooty, and this is from the government. This is from the government botanical garden. So it's the ticket from there, and yeah, it just says admit for one. Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know, like about 38 pages into this book, and I like it because this is a book that talks about mental health. It talks about a daughter who needs to deal with people in the family who have severe mental health issues, and how she is like, you know, trying to make ends meet, although she's in college and she's studying. So too early to tell you thoughts about this book, but I really like the concept a lot because it talks about mental health, and I've not read many mental health related books this year. So yeah, that's that. And the final book that I'm reading, and I think I'm like 20% through the book, like it's 20%, yes, and that's Filthy Animals by Brandon Taylor. Brandon Taylor of the Real Life fame. I absolutely love Real Life. Real Life is somewhere there. I think that's Real Life. Real Life was shortlisted for the Booker last year, and that's how I ended up reading it. But my point is that I really like Real Life, so I'm really hoping, and I'm really you know, expecting this book to be very nice. And I really like the way Brandon Taylor writes, although this book is like a collection of stories of different people, but then they are like connected in some way or the other, and that's like super interesting. So I'm currently like on the third chapter only, diving into like one of the character stories. Okay, so yeah, that's that. But that's it. This is my weekly reads. Upcoming videos: book haul part 2, September sorry, it's not September, October 2021 wrap up. And also I think I will be posting like a review video for, oops, my tripod shook, but I'll be posting a review video for this. So yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.